Guys, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Kayla and I make YouTube videos on faith, motherhood, and lifestyle. Today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you all our homeschool space. We currently live in a 2-bedroom townhome that is quite cozy. So we do not have like a designated room for homeschool. Instead, I have used our dining room area as both our dining room and our homeschool space. So I wanted to show you all how I was able to organize it and how I was able to make this small space work. This is in hopes that someone out there will also be inspired to just use the space that you have, items that you have, the resources that you have to make it work for you and your family. I try not to reorganize things. There are things that are out of place and I tried to just leave them there because I wanted to give you all a very realistic tour of our space. This is lived in. It has not been cleaned or tidied up for you all. This is truly how it looks on a day-to-day basis. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into today's tour. All right, we are starting with an overview of our space. As you can tell, it's all pretty open. You can definitely tell as soon as you walk into our home that our dining room is dedicated to our homeschool. The table and the 3 chairs that actually match, we thrifted from the Goodwill, and it only came with 3 chairs, so I just grabbed a chair that we already had. As you will see, that is a common theme in my homeschool experience. It's just working with what I already own. Now on this wall, we have my printer. I've had the same printer since college. It gets the job done for now. We also have my laminator here and then 2 boxes. So in this box, we just have our book sleeves. My boys never do well with those, so I take them off. As soon as I purchase a book, I just take them off and put them in here. And then we have like some junk mail. So like the coupons that you get from stores, I usually save those so that we can use them when we paint. I just lay them out over the table and it catches all the mess. And then in this box, I usually store all of their like completed art projects that we do. Briefly, in this storage container, this blue storage container I purchased from the Dollar General, and I just keep all of our arts and craft projects. So you'll see paint and paper, seasonal objects that we use for arts and crafts, like during the different seasons. I just throw all of that in this container. Now moving on to this shelf. This shelf I actually purchased for my books, but it turned out to be way smaller than I thought. It was from Amazon, but it worked out perfectly in our homeschool space, so no regrets. At the top, I just have pencils, crayons, color pencils, chalk, bug spray. So when we take homeschool to the park, it's really easy to take the crayons out of this Lazy Susan, grab the bug spray, throw it in my bag, and keep it pushing. You'll see some marbles up there, some whiteout, just things that we need, like, every day during homeschool. On the second shelf, we have some books. So we also have our Bluetooth speaker. I use that every day during homeschool. Kind of sets the mood and the tone for homeschool. My boys know when that Disney lo-fi comes on, it's time to do homeschool. We have the El Rey Jake series. I love this series. It's so cute, and I can't wait until my boys are able to read those on their own. But for now, I kind of have them saved. These are our practice readings. So for my kindergartner, these are what I call stretch materials. So he's able to read some of the words, but not all of them. And they are very challenging for him right now. But I enjoy them. He hasn't made it to level 2. We're still on level 1. I will be lying if I say he didn't get frustrated sometimes because it is stretch material for him. The Dog Man series, they love those comic books. So these are read alouds. I read these aloud to them. We just finished How to Eat Fried Worms as a read aloud. And so I just have those up there. We'll be reading Don't You Know There's a War On eventually. I don't really have a time period. It's just when we finish one book, we start another one. And then we have just some random items like scissors, things that I use. Down here, we have more crayons, more markers. This little container I made from a water bottle. Whenever we take homeschool to the playground, I typically would just throw that in the bag. I don't have to worry about it getting damaged or lost or left. And then we have some sight words that I go over with my kindergartner, and then his practice reading books. That comes with his curriculum. We do use the Good and the Beautiful for our language arts curriculum. In this little basket, we have some counting manipulatives and some letters that we use to practice name spelling. Down below, we have our whiteboard. We have more counting manipulatives. This is a pound of beans. We use this when we talk about weight, which goes along with our math curriculum. We use kindergarten math with confidence, and that went along with the lesson there. And then my first Bob books, I used these with my pre-K son to help go over letters and letter sounds. Down below that, we have another bucket. Whenever we have homeschool outside on the deck, I like to throw stuff in this bucket so it's just easier to take it outside. And I just haven't cleaned it out. So we have counting manipulatives. We have some cards, some number cards that I made myself and just laminated. We have some books here. These are my books. I used these when I first started homeschooling, when I was doing all of my research. These books were very helpful, and I actually ended up thrifting these from a secondhand bookstore, and they came in handy. I definitely recommend the homeschooling, home learning year by year. It's a great resource. These other 3 books, they have outgrown, and I don't want to throw them away because I just remember doing all the activities with these books, with them, and it's kind of like sweet memory. So I don't want to throw them away, but they have kind of outgrown a lot of these, and who knows, maybe I'll have more children and I can reuse them. But for now, they're just living on this shelf. In this bottom shelf, we just have our headphones. They use those for when I'm working with one. The other one is usually on the tablet. And we use Khan Academy Kids. It's an app, a free app. If you've never heard of it, I do suggest it. When I'm working with one, usually the other is on that. Then on my little teacher table, I call this my mom teacher table. In this basket, I just have the curriculum that we use day to day. Again, for math, we use kindergarten math with confidence. I have kind of transitioned my preschooler to do that with me and my kindergartner. And then because at first he was just using the horizons, but I've decided that they can be they're pretty much on the same level when it comes to math. So we kind of do that together. And then for my kindergartner, this is his curriculum, The Good and the Beautiful. Down below that, I have the tablet that one of them is using when I'm working with the other one, my homeschool planner, which is good for like record keeping. And then in this box, I just have a lot of resources, coloring dots, flashcards, lots of flashcards, things like that. Usually those I pick up from the Target dollar spot whenever I see some good ones. In this bag, I have items that I feel like we could use in arts and crafts, so I will save them. So you see the 2 drink carriers, some water bottles. I try to collect things that I feel like we could use in arts and crafts. And then we have a cooler bag for when we take our lunch to the playground. Typically we'll take lunch, do a picnic, and have homeschool there. So that's on my little mom teacher table. In this back window is where I display their art. So we recently did a study on spiders, and I had them make spiders. So that's why those are back there. We have some things for the summer. I just found these little arts and crafts at Hobby Lobby, and I hung them up on the streamer, my little word board. And then we have our Alexa Dot. My mom got that for them for Christmas, and I absolutely love it. It is kid friendly, and it is perfect for those kids who love to ask questions. Alexa is a lifesaver, and I love to say, go ask Alexa. In this back little canister, I think I got that wooden box from the Goodwill. We just have like our handwriting books that they've actually they've completed all of those. And then we have like some art paintings that I need to put in the correct spot, and some things that I use for like practice. So practice addition problems and things like that. In this jar, I hold all of the things that we use for our calendars, like the days of the week, the months, things like that. Okay, on this shelf at the top, we have a Lego build that they're still working on with their dad. And then we have the Human Body book. This book I picked up from Costco, and I actually really enjoyed it. It does a great job at describing the different body parts. When you flip through the book, it exposes a new layer, so I really enjoy that. We have a drone there that has seen better days. We have smaller Lego kits that they're actually able to do on their own, and we like to collect those from the Dollar Tree. We have our stamps in here, some more cards, and then the Chutes and Ladders game I used a lot with my preschooler when we were learning how to count. He loved that game. If you've seen my video on how I'm able to homeschool and work from home, then you know this basket I keep on the table every morning so they can have the option to do arts and crafts without mom. And then down below we have our Jenga blocks, Play-Doh, cookie cutters for our Play-Doh, more puzzles. These number blocks we use for learning number placement. And then this last box I actually need to go through and probably throw a lot of that out because they've outgrown it. It was a sensory bin. So then we have more puzzles up here. And then moving down, you'll see we have lots of learning games, flashcards, more puzzles down there as well. And then in this next box lives all of the workbooks that I quickly learned was not going to be in use in our homeschool. It's just not how we learn best. When I decided I wanted to homeschool, I was buying everything because I just didn't know what I would need. And if you buy a curriculum, that is more than enough. You don't need all the workbooks. So I'll be donating those. Teach your child to read in 100 easy lessons. I tried that with my preschooler. He was not ready for it, but I do want to circle back and give it another try. Junior Great Books is a great resource that I found. It does a great job at asking follow-up questions after reading, just to make sure that your kids are retaining information. So I love that resource. We went through all of those. Okay, on this back wall, we have this cart. At the top of the cart, we have this basket that houses all of our Bible resources. I love the Tiny Truths resources. We usually just pick a Bible story out of there. I'll read it to them, and then I'll build on that. So we'll talk about the history of whatever story we read, and sometimes we'll do little arts and craft projects to go with it. Then someone once asked me what I use for science. I don't have a science curriculum, but these little books that I found from Find Below are really helpful, and they have great science projects in there. Back behind the cart is where I keep all of the poster boards that we've made throughout the year so far. After we're done displaying them, I just stick them back there because we don't really have room to display more than one at a time. So once we're done with whatever we're learning about, I just tuck them back there. And then on this wall, we have a map. I got this map from Hobby Lobby. It was 50% off when I purchased it. And I love using that when we reference where things are located. And then these little decorative lanyards I got from Hobby Lobby as well. I typically change those out during the season. In these boxes, I have our marble maze, which they use while I'm working, as well as like a STEM project. They like to build those. That is a spider that my 5-year-old built when we did our spider study. And I just wanted to display because I thought it was pretty cool. These books we rotate in and out. We usually thrift those books. And then our book wall are the books that I purchased for the season or the holiday. I like to try to make this book wall really festive, and this is where we keep all of our new books. And typically I buy new books around different seasons and different holidays. So we have those there. I do have a video on my channel sharing with you all what books are up there. This storage unit I purchased from Amazon. It's not very sturdy, but it does exactly what I needed to do. And in here, I just house extra like science and arts and craft projects. So we have glue, yarn, and this one we have like Christmas decor that I was using, and we needed those for different projects that we did. And then here, I just keep my thermal pouches for laminating things. And down here we have construction paper, some felt paper is down there, paper plates. This board we used, they took a picture for the first day of homeschool, and they will probably take another picture for our last day of homeschool. And I like just documentation for that. And then down here we have some clipboards and some things that we use for science. They love when I bring out that science bin because they know it's going to be something super fun. So yeah, that's all we have on this back wall. I really actually enjoy this wall because it's always pretty festive. I do try to keep up with it for every holiday or season that we're in, and they know they can expect something different. And that is our space, y'all. This is a very small homeschool space, but it is mighty. We have learned so much in this space, and I'm so proud of my boys and how much they have learned and grown during the school year. And I really hope you guys enjoyed a tour of our space. So that was a tour of our homeschool space. Hopefully this video was encouraging to someone out there who is also working within a small area. You don't need a lot of space. You just need to be able to work with what you have. And I hope this video encouraged someone to do just that. If you liked this video, if you found it at all beneficial, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you all in the next video.